welcome back to a very special episode of The Next English. I'm Richel.
And I'm Dan. We are so glad you're here with us today because we are going to build from the ground up the answer to one of the most feared questions in the English language. That dreaded moment when someone looks at you and says, "So, tell me about yourself."
That phrase gives me chills. For some of you listening, this topic might seem really basic, but trust us, learning to introduce yourself with confidence is a true superpower. You never know when you'll be put on the spot.
It's so true. It could be in a new English class, during a high-pressure job interview, on your first day at a new job, or even when you're just joining a new hobby group. You have to be ready to go.
And honestly, Dan, even as a native speaker, if I have to introduce myself to a large group of people, my heart starts pounding and I get so anxious. For someone learning English, I can only imagine how intimidating that must feel.
Absolutely. The secret to overcoming that fear is not to be a perfect speaker, but to be a prepared speaker. The goal is to have your self-introduction pre-written, practiced, and learned. So when the moment comes, you don't have to think, you just have to deliver.
That's our mission today. This isn't just a lesson, it's a workshop. By the end of this episode, you will have a complete, polished, and powerful self-introduction that is ready for you to use. So grab a notebook and let's build this together, starting with the very first word. Part 1, greetings, the perfect first impression.
Okay, every single introduction, no matter where you are, begins with a greeting. And the very first decision you have to make is this a formal or an informal situation?
This is so important. You wouldn't greet the CEO of a company you're interviewing with in the same way you'd greet a close friend at a party. So let's break down the options for formal greetings first.
The absolute classic, the go-to, the never-fails option is, of course, hello.
Hello is like a chameleon. It's perfect. It's safe. It's polite. It works in any formal context, and it can even work in informal ones. If you're ever in doubt, hello is your best friend.
Next up, you have your time of day greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. These are wonderful and very professional. My one piece of advice is please check the clock first.
Oh, I've been there. I have walked into a 5 p.m. meeting and cheerfully said good morning. The embarrassment is real. So a quick check of the time can save you from that awkward moment.
Now, a question we see a lot is about the phrase, good day. It seems logical, right? A greeting for the whole day.
It does, but this is a major cultural point. In British English, good day is extremely old-fashioned. You might hear it in a historical movie, but you will almost never hear it in a real conversation. It sounds very, very formal and out of place.
However, if you're in Australia, it's a different story. It's very common there, but they shortened it into that famous friendly greeting, "G'day."
G'day, mate. It's an iconic sound, but remember, that's informal and very specific to Australia. So unless you're practicing your Aussie accent, it's best to stick to the main three.
And here's one more absolutely crucial tip. Good night is not a greeting. It only ever means goodbye. You say it when you are leaving a place in the evening, never when you are arriving.
That's a golden rule. If you're introducing yourself at 9 p.m., you say, good evening. When you leave that party at midnight, you say, good night.
Okay, that covers the formal situations. Now let's move on to the fun, casual, informal greetings. This is where you can show a bit more personality.
There are so many options, from the simple to the slangy. You have the classics like hi and hey. In the UK, you'll hear hiya a lot, which is very friendly.
Then you have more casual options like what's up, and moving into more American slang, you might hear yo or what's good.
Now, this brings us to our single most important piece of advice for informal greetings. You must pick one that feels authentic to you. It has to feel natural coming out of your mouth.
I cannot stress this enough. For example, I really admire people who can walk into a room and confidently say, "Yo, what's good?" But if I tried to do that, it would sound completely forced and ridiculous. It's not part of my personality or where I'm from.
Exactly. I would feel so silly. My personal go-to is hey. It's relaxed, friendly, and it feels like me. Your task is to find the one that feels like you. If you're not sure, hi and hey are the perfect, safe, and friendly options that work for everyone. So spend a moment thinking about it. What's your personal greeting going to be? Once you have that, you're ready for the next step. You've broken the ice with the perfect greeting, you're feeling confident, and now it's time for the most important piece of information, your name.
This seems super simple, but there are a few different ways to say it, and choosing the right one can make you sound much more natural. Let's start with the most common go-to options for face-to-face introductions.
In almost any situation, formal or informal, the best and most natural sounding phrases are the contracted forms. I'm, plus your name, or my name's, plus your name.
So, I'm Dan, or my name's Dan. They're friendly, direct, and perfect for everyday use. Using the full I am or my name is can sound a little robotic, like you're reading from a script. The contraction makes it flow better.
But there are a couple of special situations where a different phrase is actually better. What if the person you're speaking to can't see you?
Yes. This is key for phone calls, audio conferences, or maybe speaking to a huge auditorium. In these cases, it's very common and professional to use this is, plus your name.
Exactly. If you're calling someone for work, you would say, hi, this is Richel from the sales department. It immediately clarifies who's speaking when they can't see your face.
So to recap that little deep dive, for face-to-face, I'm, or my name's. When you're not visible, this is. Simple, but getting it right makes a huge difference.
Okay, they know your name. The next logical piece of your story is your location. This isn't just about naming a place. It's a chance to share a bit about your background, and there are some wonderfully sophisticated ways to do it.
Let's start with the most simple and direct options. You can't go wrong with these. I'm from, plus city or country. For example, I'm from Tokyo.
Or you can use the nationality adjective. I'm Japanese. Both are perfect and clear.
There's another lovely option, I come from. This phrase often implies a bit more of a journey. It's a great choice if you were introducing yourself in a country that is very far from your home country. It adds a subtle sense of the distance you've traveled. I come from a small village in the Swiss Alps. It just sounds a bit more story-like.
I love that. Now, what if your story is a bit more complex? Maybe you were born in one place, but grew up somewhere else.
This is where you can start to combine ideas and really show off your English. You can use the fantastic phrase, born and raised. Raised just means where you grew up as a child. If it was one place, I was born and raised in Seoul. If it was two different places, I was born in France, but raised in Sweden.
That one sentence, I was born in France but raised in Sweden, tells such an interesting story. It immediately makes you more memorable.
Exactly. And the most common situation for many people is that they grew up in one place but live somewhere else now. Let's look at some advanced phrases for this.
The first one is a classic connector. I grew up in past place, but now I live in current place. For example, I grew up in a small town, but now I live in New York City.
Another one, which sounds very professional and brilliant for work contexts, is using originally and based in. You could say, I'm originally from Dublin, but I'm now based in Singapore. The phrase based in is very commonly used for work and business.
And if you want to add how long you've been in your current city, we can use our advanced tenses. You can say, I've been living in Berlin for 5 years.
Yes, using the present perfect continuous there shows the action started in the past and is still happening now. It's a very impressive sentence. A slightly different but equally fluent phrase is, I've spent the past few years in Seoul.
Wow, so you can go from the very simple, I'm from Canada, to the much more advanced, I'm originally from Canada, but I've spent the past 3 years based in Tokyo for work.
And that is the journey from basic to advanced. You're not just giving a fact, you're telling a mini story about your life. It's so much more engaging.
We've covered the essential personal details, your name and your story of where you're from. Now, let's pivot to the professional world.
This is so important. In a job interview, a networking event, or on your first day at a new company, you need to be able to talk about what you do with clarity and confidence. This is where you establish your credibility.
Let's start with the most direct information, your current position and company. There are a few key phrases you can use, and each gives slightly different information.
Let's say you want to state where you work and in what department. A great sentence structure for that is, I work at company in the department.
For example, I work at Google in the marketing department. It's clear, professional, and gives all the key information.
Now, here is a really important preposition pro tip that many learners get wrong. When you talk about your company, you work at the company or for the company. When you talk about your general field or department, you work in that field.
That's such a crucial point, Dan. So you would say, I work at Microsoft, correct. I work for Microsoft, correct. But you would not say, I work in Microsoft. That's incorrect. You would say, I work in finance, correct. I work in the sales department, correct.
Getting those little prepositions right makes you sound incredibly fluent. Another great way to state your role is to lead with your position. You can say, I'm a position at company.
For example, I'm a project manager at Starbucks. This puts the focus on your role first, which can be very powerful. And again, you could say at Starbucks or for Starbucks.
And if you want to be more general and just say what your job is without naming the company,
for that, the structure is I work as a position. For instance, I work as an accountant, or I work as a freelance writer.
Okay, so that covers your current job. But what if you're a student or you want to highlight your educational background in an interview?
Excellent question. Let's talk about qualifications. If you're still a student and nearing the end of your studies, a fantastic phrase is, I'm about to graduate. It shows you're on the verge of the next step in your career.
And if you've already graduated?
You can say, I'm a subject graduate. For example, I'm a marketing graduate, or I'm a biology postgrad. To be more formal, you can state your full degree. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in marketing, or the common abbreviation, I have a BA in marketing.
This is also a great place to mention any extra courses you're taking to show you're always learning.
Absolutely. You can say, I'm currently taking a course, and here's another preposition pro tip. We generally take a course in a theoretical subject, but on a practical hands-on subject.
Oh, that's a subtle but very advanced point. So you would say, I'm taking a course in history because it's theoretical, but I'm taking a course on pottery because it's a practical skill.
Exactly. And if you've finished a course, you can add it to your introduction like this. I've completed a 72-hour course in digital marketing. Specifying the length of the course makes it sound very concrete and impressive.
Okay, finally, let's talk about experience. In a professional setting, this is perhaps the most powerful part of your introduction.
It really is. A killer phrase that sounds incredibly professional is, I have number of years of experience in field. Let's hear that in a full sentence. I have 10 years of experience in sales. Or, I have 3 years of experience in the neuroscience field. It's a strong, confident statement that immediately establishes your expertise.
Is there an alternative way to say that?
Yes, you can also use the present perfect tense to show that your experience continues to the present day. You could say, I've worked in accounting for 3 years. It has the same meaning, but gives you another option. Both are excellent choices for any professional introduction.
We've just covered all of the professional details that will make you shine in an interview or a business meeting. Now, let's switch gears.
We're moving from the boardroom to the living room. Let's talk about the personal details you might share in a more informal social situation where your goal is to make friends and connect with people.
Exactly. This is how you share a bit more of your personality. Let's start with a topic that's central to so many of us, your family.
Now, before we even give you the phrases, we have to share a golden tip and correct one of the most common mistakes we hear from English learners. So many people say, "We are four in our family."
It's a very common mistake, and it's usually a direct translation from their native language. While people will understand what you mean, it doesn't sound natural in English.
So what are the naturally sounding alternatives?
There are two great options. You can say, "I'm from a family of four," or "There are four of us in my family." Both of those are perfect and will make you sound instantly more fluent.
That tip alone is worth its weight in gold. Now, what about talking about brothers and sisters?
A fantastic and very useful word is siblings. It's a gender-neutral term for your brothers and sisters together. You can say, "I'm one of 3 siblings." This tells people the total number without having to specify brothers or sisters.
And if you don't have any siblings?
The phrase for that is, "I'm an only child." Simple, clear, and exactly what a native speaker would say.
Okay, after family, a great way to connect with people is by talking about your hobbies. Now, saying "I like running" is perfectly fine, but we can definitely make it sound more enthusiastic and advanced.
I love this topic. My favorite phrase to show real passion for something is, "I'm a big fan of." It has so much more energy. For example, "I'm a big fan of classic movies," or "I'm a big fan of spicy food."
It really does sound more passionate. Another great, sophisticated sounding option is to use the word keen, which means you're very interested and enthusiastic. The structure is "I'm a keen noun."
For example, instead of "I like to run," you could say "I'm a keen runner." Instead of "I enjoy photography," you can say "I'm a keen photographer." It's a small change that makes a big impact on how fluent you sound.
All right, next up is age. We should mention that in many Western cultures, especially in professional or new social situations, it's not always necessary or even common to state your age. But it's still important to know how to do it correctly.
The most basic way is "I'm 30 years old," but it's far more common to just say "I'm 30. We almost always drop the years old part in casual conversation.
And what if you don't want to give your exact age? I know I don't always want to.
Me neither. In that case, you can speak in ranges, which is a very natural and common thing to do. You can say you're in your early, mid, or late 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on.
So I'm in my early 30s would be for ages 30 to 33. I'm in my mid-30s would be for 34 to 36. And I'm in my late 30s would be for 37 to 39.
Exactly. It gives people an idea of your age without having to give the specific number. It's a perfect solution.
All right. Next up is okay, I know we have to talk about it. We've saved the most terrifying part of any introduction for last, the fun fact.
Oh, the fun fact. So many teachers, icebreakers, and event organizers love to ask for this. You have to stand up, say your name, and then share one interesting thing about yourself. It can be so stressful to think of something on the spot.
The pressure is immense. So here is our number one life-saving tip. Have one prepared in advance. Don't wait to be asked. Decide on your fun fact today and have it in your back pocket ready to use whenever you need it.
It doesn't have to be a mind-blowing story. A good fun fact can be a strange fear, like a fear of butterflies, an unusual skill, like being able to juggle, a cool place you've traveled to, or a funny story about a pet.
My go-to fun fact is that I can solve a Rubik's Cube in under a minute. It's nerdy, but it's always memorable and gets a good reaction.
And my fun fact is that I once appeared on a TV game show and lost in the first round. It's a story of failure, but it's funny, and people always ask about it. The point is, have your story ready, and you will never fear the fun fact question again. We have gathered all of our puzzle pieces: a confident greeting, your name, your location, your professional details, and your personal passions.
We have all the ingredients, but if we just list them one by one, our introduction can sound a bit robotic, like we're reading a checklist. The final step, the one that separates a good introduction from a great one, is learning how to connect these pieces into a smooth, natural story.
This is the secret to true fluency. Let's look at a before example. If I just list my facts, it sounds like this. Good morning, everyone. My name is Richel. I am in my late 20s. I am from Manchester. I work as an English teacher. I'm a big fan of hiking and exploring the mountains.
Now, is any of that grammatically wrong? Not at all. It's all perfectly correct and clear. But it's a bit choppy, isn't it? It doesn't flow like a natural conversation.
Exactly. It's a list of facts, not a story. Now, let's take those exact same pieces of information and connect them into one or two flowing sentences. This is our after example. What do you think of this? Good morning, everyone. My name's Richel, and I'm an English teacher in my late 20s, originally from Manchester. When I'm not in the classroom, I'm a big fan of hiking and exploring the mountains.
So much better. It's incredible. It's shorter, it's smoother, and it paints a complete picture. Let's break down what you did. You combined your job, age, and location into one flowing thought, and you connected your hobby to your free time. You turned a list into a personal narrative.
And that is the ultimate goal. Your final challenge is to do the same thing. Take all the individual sentences you've prepared today and see if you can weave them together into one or two beautiful flowing sentences. Condense and connect. That is the secret.
And that is it. From the first hello to crafting a polished personal story, you have just completed our deep dive masterclass on how to introduce yourself with confidence.
Okay, we have learned all the building blocks. Now let's put it all into practice so you can hear how it sounds in a real conversation. You can follow along and practice with us.
It's time to see it all in action. So, Richel, to make this real, I'm going to put you on the spot. Are you ready?
I think so. Go for it.
All right, Richel, tell me about yourself.
Okay, well, my name's Richel. I'm 29 years old, and my mother tongue is English. I was born and raised in a small town in Vermont, right in the northeast of America.
Vermont. I imagine it's beautiful there. Lots of nature.
It is, but I'm a city person at heart, so now I live in a small apartment here in Chicago. I love being in a big, busy city.
That's a big change, so we know your name, age, and location. Let me ask the big question. What do you do?
Like you, Dan, I'm an English teacher. It's my passion. But on the side, I'm also a student. I'm currently taking a course in photography.
Photography, that's so cool. So you're a teacher and a student. Okay, my turn to answer some questions.
Perfect. Dan, tell me about yourself.
All right, my name is Dan, and I'm 32. I'm also a native English speaker, born and raised in San Diego, California. I'm definitely a beach person. I live in a small house not too far from the ocean.
I'm a little jealous of that ocean. And what do you do besides being a great co-host and English teacher? Are you studying anything?
I am. I'm trying to learn a new language myself, Spanish. It's a fun challenge.
That brings up a great point for our listeners. We often ask students, what's your purpose for learning English? Is it for work, for travel, for fun? Knowing your why is so important.
It really is. My purpose for learning Spanish is to travel. For me, the best learning approach is to talk with native speakers as much as possible, even if I make mistakes. What about for you and your photography?
My best learning approach is to just go out and practice every day. Just take lots of pictures. Okay, let's get more personal. Tell me about your family.
I'm from a family of 4. I have one older sister, she's a doctor, and my parents are both retired now.
That's lovely. I'm an only child, so it was always just me and my parents. My mom is a nurse and my dad is a musician.
A musician, that's awesome. No wonder you have good taste in music. So what's your favorite song?
Oh, that's tough. Right now, I can't stop listening to Good Days by SZA. It's so relaxing. What about you?
For me, it has to be Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. It's a classic. I will never get tired of that song.
An excellent choice. Okay, next topic. Do you have any pets?
I do. My favorite animal is a dog, and I have a crazy golden retriever named Buddy. He has way too much energy, but he is very lovable. Do you have a pet?
I do not, but my favorite animal is a cat. I would love to get a quiet, sleepy cat one day. Maybe when I finish my photography course.
A cat person and a dog person. We are total opposites.
We are. Let's see if we agree on favorites. Let's do a quick round. Favorite food?
Easy. A big, cheesy pizza. No question.
Good choice. For me, it's spicy Thai curry.
Ooh, I love spicy food. Okay, favorite color?
Green, all shades of green.
For me, it's deep blue, like the ocean.
Of course it is. Okay, favorite place to go?
The beach, definitely. It's my happy place.
And my favorite place to go is the mountains for a long hike. We really are opposite.
This is getting funny. Let's see if we have any hobbies in common. My main hobby, besides trying to learn Spanish, is playing guitar. I'm also a keen football fan. My favorite sports team is the Green Bay Packers.
Ah, a Packers fan. See, I'm a Chicago Bears fan, so we are rivals. This is not going to work, Dan.
Oh no, this podcast is over.
My main hobbies are, of course, photography and hiking. I also love to watch old black and white movies.
Okay, last part. To show our full personalities, let's talk about our dislikes. Is there a food you do not like?
I do not like bananas. I can't stand the texture.
What? Everyone likes bananas. That's my fun fact for today. For me, a food I don't like is cilantro. It tastes like soap to me.
I love cilantro. Okay, this is hopeless. What about an activity you don't like?
I really don't like cleaning the house. It's the most boring activity in the world.
I agree with you on that one. Finally, something in common. For me, an activity I don't like is being in a very large, noisy crowd. It makes me feel anxious.
There you have it, a full introduction. We covered everything.
We did, and as you all heard, it was a conversation. We asked each other questions. The most important tip for our listeners is that you do not have to say all of this at once.
Absolutely. And while you're practicing and feeling proud of your new introduction, if you found this lesson helpful, we'd be so grateful for your support. Please take a second to subscribe to The Next English and give this video a big thumbs up by clicking the like button.
It really does help other learners find our channel and join our community.
It does, and please share it with a friend or a loved one who's also on their English learning journey. Finally, we would absolutely love to read your new introductions, so be brave and post them in the comments below. We can't wait to learn a little bit about you.
We hope you're feeling empowered and prepared. You now have all the building blocks and the strategy you need to answer that dreaded question, tell me about yourself, without any fear at all.
We would be absolutely thrilled to see what you've created. Your final piece of homework is to share your new 1 to 2 sentence introduction in the comments below. Let's see your story.
And if you're feeling brave, we would love for you to add your fun fact. You can also practice by reading other people's introductions and leaving a positive comment. Let's build a supportive community right here.
You have done an amazing job today. Thank you for putting in the work and for joining us here at The Next English.
Until next time, keep practicing and get ready to introduce yourself with total confidence. Bye for now.